Once upon a time, in a bright, bustling town nestled between rolling green hills, a brand new train arrived. It wasn't just any train. It was the Silver Streak, the fastest, shiniest, most magnificent steam engine anyone had ever seen. It hissed and puffed with power, its whistle echoing through the valley like a proud trumpet. "Nothing is faster than the Silver Streak," the townspeople would say, watching it zoom past in a blur of polished metal and white smoke. In this very same town lived a young boy named Leo. Leo wasn't famous for being fast, but for having the best friend a boy could ask for: a strong, spirited horse named Spirit. Spirit had a coat the color of rich chocolate and a heart full of courage. Leo and Spirit were inseparable. They explored every corner of the valley together, from the whispering woods to the babbling brooks. They understood each other without a single word. A gentle nudge from Spirit or a soft pat from Leo was all the communication they needed. One sunny afternoon, as Leo and Spirit trotted through the town square, they overheard a group of villagers talking excitedly about the Silver Streak. "It's a marvel of engineering," one man exclaimed. Another laughed, and seeing Leo, called out sarcastically, "Hey, Leo, I bet your old horse couldn't even keep up with the caboose of that train." The group chuckled, their words stinging Leo more than a nettle. They saw Spirit as just an ordinary horse, but Leo knew he was extraordinary. Anger flared in Leo's chest, hot and quick. He looked at Spirit, who flicked his ears as if to say, "Don't listen to them." But Leo couldn't let it go. He took it as a personal challenge. He stood up tall, his eyes determined. "Oh yeah," he called back to the men. "We'll see about that. My friend Spirit can beat anything." A hush fell over the crowd, followed by murmurs of disbelief. A horse against the Silver Streak? It was unheard of. But Leo had made up his mind. He would prove them all wrong. The very next morning, as the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, a strange sight greeted the station master. There, standing proudly on the platform next to the gleaming Silver Streak, was Leo with Spirit. The horse pawed the ground, his breath misting in the cool air, ready for action. Word of the challenge had spread like wildfire, and the entire town had gathered to watch. The train driver, a kind man with a twinkle in his eye, leaned out of his cabin. "Are you sure about this, son?" he asked. Leo just nodded, his grip firm on Spirit's reins. He gave his friend one last encouraging pat. "We can do this, boy," he whispered. The station master blew his whistle, a long, sharp blast that signaled the start of the race. "All aboard!" he yelled. With a mighty lurch and a deafening choo-choo, the Silver Streak began to move, its powerful wheels grinding against the steel tracks. At the exact same moment, Leo gave a shout, and Spirit leaped forward. The race had begun. The crowd roared as horse and train charged out of the station side by side. At first, the Silver Streak's power was overwhelming. It quickly pulled ahead, its pistons pumping like a giant rhythmic heart. The train followed the winding railway track, a long, predictable path carved through the landscape. From Spirit's back, Leo could see the train streaking away from them. It was disheartening. The villagers' taunts echoed in his ears. Spirit could feel Leo's worry through the reins. He whinnied, a determined sound, and pushed himself harder, his powerful legs eating up the ground. But the smooth, straight track gave the train an incredible advantage. Leo knew they couldn't win by simply trying to outrun the train on a straight path. He had to be smarter. He knew this valley better than anyone, every secret path, every shortcut. "Come on, Spirit, this way," he urged. Instead of following the wide, looping curve of the railway, Leo guided Spirit straight up a steep, grassy hill. It was a tough climb, and Spirit's muscles burned with the effort. But they trusted each other. From the top of the hill, they could see the train far below, still chugging along its fixed route. With a burst of speed, they galloped down the other side of the hill, rejoining the path near the tracks, now slightly ahead of the engine. But their lead didn't last long. The silver streak came thundering up behind them on a long, flat stretch of land. It was gaining on them again, its whistle screaming like a challenge. Ahead, Leo saw a farmer's field, surrounded by a long wooden fence. The railway tracks went all the way around it, a journey that would take precious minutes. Leo didn't hesitate. "Ready, boy? Jump!" he cried. Gathering all his strength, Spirit soared through the air, clearing the fence in a magnificent leap. They landed softly in the meadow and galloped straight across the field, a shortcut the train could never take. They jumped another fence on the other side, landing back on the path just as the train was rounding the bend. They had saved so much time. The crowd, which had been following the race from various vantage points, gasped in amazement. The boy and his horse were actually keeping up. The race was now neck and neck. The finish line, the bridge on the other side of town, was in sight. Leo could feel Spirit's powerful heart beating against his legs. The horse was giving it everything he had, his breath coming in great ragged gasps. He was tired, his body ached, but his spirit was unbroken. The train was right beside them, its immense speed a constant thundering pressure. Leo leaned forward, whispering words of encouragement into Spirit's ear. "Just a little more, pal. You're the best. We can do it." Fueled by Leo's belief and his own incredible courage, Spirit dug deep for one final burst of energy. He stretched his neck, flattened his ears, and ran faster than he had ever run before. For a few breathtaking seconds, horse and machine were perfectly matched, a blur of motion and determination. Then, with a final, heroic effort, Spirit's nose crossed the imaginary finish line at the start of the bridge just a heartbeat before the front of the silver streak. He had done it. Spirit had won the race. A wave of absolute silence washed over the crowd, followed by the loudest cheer the town had ever heard. People were clapping, shouting, and celebrating this unbelievable victory. Leo slid off Spirit's back and threw his arms around his friend's sweaty neck, burying his face in his mane. "You did it! You did it!" he sobbed with joy. Spirit, panting but proud, nudged him gently. Even the train driver tipped his hat with a wide, respectful smile. That day, the whole town learned a valuable lesson. It wasn't about being the newest or the biggest. It was about heart, courage, and the powerful bond of friendship. Leo and Spirit had shown everyone that when you have the courage to try and the dedication to never give up, you can achieve anything you set your mind to, no matter how impossible it seems. Thanks so much for watching our story today. We hope you loved it as much as we did. If you want to see more amazing adventures, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.